Alright guys, welcome to Wrestling Mate. Today we're going to be talking about the awful, god-awful finish of Hell in a Cell 2019 with The Fiend and Seth Rollins. What went down, why was it so bad, what they could have done, and how they should have done it. All that after this, guys. Welcome to Wrestling Mate. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It's pretty easy. It is free of charge. All you have to do is push that little red button that says subscribe. I'd really appreciate that, guys. But with no further ado, let's get into it. So the main event of Hell in a Cell 2019 was The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins, who is the Universal Champion. Now, straight away, the entrances. Everyone loves doing the burn it down for Seth's entrance, and that's about all he's got going for himself. Yes, he is pretty good in between the ropes. However, his inability to connect with fans, myself included, and make his character believable with his promos and just his overall work in general is lackluster in my opinion. Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, is arguably the hottest thing in wrestling since Hulk Hogan, John Cena, The Rock, any of those guys. He is absolutely screaming money and potential. Anyways, The Fiend's entrance, we've all been dying for another Fiend entrance. SummerSlam was so good. I actually touted it as the best entrance I've ever seen. He gave me goosebumps, and I was looking forward to seeing it again. It's been a while. They made a few tweaks. A few of the camera angles were different, as well as there were some red lights that were flashing here and there throughout the music. As well as on the screen, they popped up. I remember the timing being really good at SummerSlam. It kicked in when there was a real heavy, grungy kind of verse, and it come up with The Fiend, and it was all a bit scattery. It was miscued tonight, and it was also... It also came up with Bray Wyatt underneath, and I thought, we know it's Bray Wyatt, I thought it just took away from the character, like the Fiend persona. I know you got Cactus Jack, Cactus Jack Mick Foley, but Mankind, you never heard Mankind Mick Foley. Or Dude Love Mick Foley. You never really heard that kind of stuff, so, I don't know, I didn't like that. Then we got to the ring, and the match began. Now, another thing I didn't like was the red light the whole time. It was, like when Kane debuted, they had that going throughout a couple of months where every match he wrestled, it was just a red light, a crimson light the whole match. And I found it odd. Maybe they did it just because it was Hell in a Cell. I think they also did to make the weapon shots look a little bit different. It was harder to see, so they made them look better. But it was bizarre because he didn't wrestle Balor as The Fiend with the lighting, so I wasn't keen on that, and personally I found it quite hard to adjust my eyes to it. But that is not even a minuscule part of what the problem was here. So basically the match started, and Bray basically controlled the pace for probably the first couple of minutes. Seth, I think within about 3 minutes, headed for some weapons. Straight away into weapons. He hit about 15 curb stomps, like it was some kind of ridiculous number. Now, whilst that was happening, every other cover up until then, The Fiend had kicked out at one. So Seth Rollins hit quite a lot of curb stomps, and the crowd started booing. They started shitting on this match straight away because they thought, we are going to get robbed here. How are they actually going to put Seth Rollins over The Fiend? Like, are you joking? They've spent months building this character as if they're going to do him like this. No-sold him. He was no-selling him, but then he dropped. Then Seth would do him again. Then Bray would drop. Then Seth would do another group of them, and then Bray would stand up. And when he completely stood up after taking, I think, 10 in a row, man, that place erupted because they went, there's no stopping the Fiend. There is no stopping the Fiend. We're going to see a new Universal title. We're going to see the most exciting and hottest thing in wrestling at the peak of his powers, at the top of the mountain. Well, it didn't pan out that way, and this is where the match really took a turn for the worse. Seth Rollins grabbed the chairs. There was a curb stop on a big mallet that Bray brought out. We got chair shots, and then there was a sickening one. Like, the Fiend was laid out, right? It was a sickening shot to the head. I looked at it and went, oh my God, like, I think he killed him. Like, obviously I knew he didn't, but honestly it looked like it could have done some real damage because there was no give. Like, he was hard up against the mat. So there was that shot, and then Seth didn't even go for a cover. Grabbed the ladder, chucked the ladder on top, put the chair in the middle, went back out, got a toolbox, fully loaded toolbox, and then started throwing the toolbox into the ladder, onto the chair, onto Bray's head, with Bray still not moving. Like, it was a bit intense, but it was a bit hokey as well. Bray remained motionless, and I don't know, if I'm WWE, Seth is a babyface. Why within 3 minutes of the match is he going for weapons? And why, after hitting him in the head with the chair, why not go for the cover? You've hit him with the ladder and the chair, go for the cover. You've done the toolbox box, go for the cover. You've frog splashed him through a table. I mean, that was a kick out at one. But even that spot seemed very unusual and not natural. It just was there because it was there. Like, if you watched the women's match earlier in the night, they were very creative in the way they used the weapons and the way they laid it out. That was a well laid out match, and they saved those spots. They didn't just throw them away. They built and built and built, and I loved that match. That was a fantastic match. This match, not so much. So from all aspects of booking, it doesn't work. You've booked one of your biggest baby faces into a corner, essentially. But I think you're going to find out it's going to be the biggest heel on Monday Night Raw when we continue what's going to happen. So anyways, he then goes out, gets a sledgehammer. So Bray's laying on the apron flat, hasn't moved still. He's got all these weapons and ladders and chairs and toolbox laid on top of him. Now Seth comes in, and this is where it gets weird. The ref gets in the way and says, Seth, think about what you're doing. You don't want to do this. You're not this type of person. You're going to kill him. Think about what you're doing. And Seth thinks about it for a second and then just goes ahead and bang with a sledgehammer onto the toolbox, onto the ladder, onto Bray's head, the chair, and the ref rings the bell and the cage is raised. Now, initially you're thinking, okay, it's a DQ. Nothing was ever announced, which is weird. So I think they're going for some kind of stoppage, like a ref stoppage for safety, which is weird. So the cage raised, the cell raised, then we had medics come out. Now, in two minds about that, because you've built all this time and energy to making Bray a monster, but just the way you've booked it, you've now made him just a regular person. Like, I don't know, I'm in two minds about it because he's a monster, he's psychotic, he's unstoppable, he's no-selling his moves. But then you're trying to tell me he's just a normal guy? I don't know, I don't get it. I don't get where they're going with that. So it raises, then they come to attend the Fiend, and Seth's kind of in shock on like what's going on. And then all of a sudden the Fiend gets up and then chucks the mandible claw on Seth Rollins. And then whilst this is happening, the crowd is absolutely shitting on this match. Like, they are booing the hell out of it. They're chanting refunds. They're chanting bullshit. They're chanting AEW. This is another great point. WWE can't keep continuing to book pay-per-views and shows poorly like this, because guess what? There's competition now. People will defect. Yeah, everyone will probably tune in and give them another chance, but you know what? There is a small minority that will say, look, this is the absolute last chance. You had the best thing going and you effed it. So you're going to lose viewers and you're going to lose fans. Because guess what? AEW haven't put on a bad show yet. They're a show for the fans, by the fans basically. That's the way they're pushing it. So you've got a problem there. They were very, very hostile. Now, at the same token, they probably couldn't hear what the ref was saying. But WWE even officially never really announced over the airways what happened and why it happened. I know we seen the Fiend afterwards with the mandible claw and Seth Rollins with the blood coming in his mouth, but it was too late. It was too late. The crowd had already made their mind up. They got ripped off. This is Hell in a Cell. There's supposed to be a definitive winner, pinfall or submission. Mick Foley, thrown off a cage, almost died, still continued the match. No one stopped it then. Triple H has used countless amounts of time a sledgehammer in a Hell in a Cell. That match never got stopped. It made no sense psychology-wise. They have basically spat in the face of all those other wrestlers and the prestigiousness of the Hell in a Cell and done it no justice. They've done it no justice, and it's inexcusable. It really is. So the way they could have avoided this now, there's a small way to tweak it, and then there's a whole other direction that I would take it. If you want to go the same route, you could have still tweaked it. The audience at home would have been okay about it, kind of, but the audience still would have crapped all over it. If you had that ref step in front of Seth Rollins and say, hey, you're going to kill this guy, I'm not going to let you do this. If you do this, Seth, I will end the match. Then if Seth does that, the heat's off the ref, because the ref was copying huge heat for cancelling this match. But you give the decision to Seth to make there. So the heat's on Seth. Now, that would have maybe made more sense. However, everyone is saying WWE booked themselves into a corner. Now I disagree. This is how Hell in a Cell should have been booked, right? If they didn't want Bray to leave with the belt. There's ways around it, right? Hear me out. So you have Bray Wyatt, Fiend, right? Beating the living hell out of Seth, right? The living hell out of Seth. Then the ref kind of steps in the way and goes, come on Bray, he's had enough. Just finish him, pin him already, finish it. Then the Fiend attacks the ref, right? So the ref's out. We've got no official. We need an official. Another ref comes down, opens the cage door or whatever happens, gets in, the Fiend attacks that ref for trying to coerce him into finishing the match. Another one comes down, the same thing, right? Then we cut to a fourth referee out the back having a conversation with Vince McMahon, right? And the ref goes, no way, I can't go out there, I can't do it. This is not a safe work environment. Look what he's done to the rest of the guys. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So it gets to a point where no official wants to officiate this match because it's a health and safety risk. Look at this deranged man, the Fiend, this creature, this manifestation of evil, right? So, where do you go from here? So with that being in mind, the match is pretty much null, so we can go one or two ways from here. The Fiend then latches on the mandible claw again, leaving Rollins spitting out blood and then passing out. Then the Fiend rises up, looks to the door, walks over, like slowly, methodically walks over, grabs the door, full Kane style, rips the door off, right? Or you have, after the ref said no way and Seth's out of it, the cell raises. Now that is Vince's way of saying, hey, this one's over, like it's too far. Bray then, depending what way we've gone, he's either gone out the door or the cell's raised. Bray then goes over, grabs the championship, brings it into the ring and sets it on fire. That sends a message that Bray is, 1, bigger than the title. 2, he doesn't care about the title. All this man thinks about is destruction and just inflicting pain and suffering. He just wants to watch the world burn and just live in a world of anarchy, right? That's how you book it. That's how you book him not winning the belt, still coming across super strong, giving the fans a moment to remember, something that would go down in history. Think about it. Fans irate, defecting to other shows. They're pissed. They're probably not going to tune into Raw. And the ones that do tune into Raw or are at the Raw crowd, Seth is going to get the biggest amount of boos you've ever heard. It's going to be bigger than when Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, like on the Monday. It'll be bigger than that. It is going to be enormously bad for him. Why do that? If that's your top babyface or one of them, why put him in that predicament? Stupid booking. Did anyone actually think about this? I mean, seriously, what a joke. Anyways, guys, that's how I would have booked the Fiend. Personally, I think it's an absolute cracking idea. I mean, why not do it that way? Don't know. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about the actual pay-per-view, the ending of it. Let me know what you think about my ending. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. So guys, that's it for me on Wrestling Mate. That's my rant over. I had to get it off my chest. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully someone from Creative actually hears this, because, hey, look, if you need a bit of a hand writing a show, mate, I mean, I'm your guy. Anyways, Tommy Venom from Down Under here, from Wrestling Mate, signing off. Uru, you bunch of gurus.